When I taught the 15-year-old Sunday school class, I had a great group of kids. They were very respectful and they participated when I asked them questions. The only problem I had with the class is that I had a problem getting them engaged and excited about the lesson. But there was one lesson that I taught that they were very engaged in, and they had a great discussion. Ironically, the lesson was on the law of chastity. It started out the same as all of those lessons start out, with the kids staring at their feet and shuffling their feet awkwardly. But then after I taught them the basic principles that they needed to understand about the law of chastity, what it is, and why they need to live the law of chastity, I asked the question that they wanted to have answered. They understand what they're not supposed to do and what the line on that is, but they don't understand what is appropriate, and they want to know what is appropriate in different situations. And I told them I didn't have the answers. They needed to figure it out for themselves. And so they had a great discussion about this. From this, I learned that the youth really do want to talk about issues that they're facing. And there are many issues that they are facing today, and their parents are the ones who they would like to talk about these issues with. One of these issues is what is the big deal about pornography? The big deal about pornography is the damaging effects of pornography. Pornography damages the brain, the family, and society. Pornography damages the brain because it has the same chemical reaction in the brain as drugs do, such as cocaine and meth. When you view pornography, there's a chemical reaction in which high levels of dopamine are released into the brain. The only difference between doing meth or cocaine and viewing pornography is that the reaction in the brain when viewing pornography is much greater and much more powerful. It is like a chemical explosion in the brain. And studies show that that in teens' brains, the reward pathway has a response 2 to 4 times greater than that in adult brains. And so there's a higher level of dopamine released in their brains than there are in adults' brains. And just as with cocaine and meth, pornography is addicting. As the brain gets flooded with the dopamine, this is not a healthy state. And so the brain tries to compensate by shrinking the dopamine receptors. And as these dopamine receptors are shrunk, then it requires more dopamine to be released to have the individual even feel a normal level of, to feel normal. Blah. Let's close it and start.